If you're watching this, welcome to a week in the life of building Notice, figuring shit out, and just documenting the journey. So we're doing a full-on LinkedIn go-to-market personal brand takeover with a sick company from Berlin. Someone asked me if I don't get tired about doing these vlogs or me bringing the camera. I would do this even if there wasn't a business context around it. Already mapped out kind of the roadmap based on the last conversations with my coach and discuss. Just reviewed 2 YouTube vlogs. Episode 104 and episode 105 of the Great Lock-In, which is funny to see. We just went to Lisbon, now I'm back in Switzerland again and I'm reviewing vlogs from Lisbon. And it's funny to hear me and other team members talk about certain initiatives, respond to certain events, and then, you know, knowing how it pans out or what came thereafter. But also remembering, oh shit, there I talked about upselling an existing client. I should check in and see what happened there. So it's good. Sun is out too, it's Easter weekend. Yesterday I spent 3 hours like uploading receipts and just cleaning up all the pending finance tasks, which I've been pushing away for like 4 weeks now. So it's my own fault that it took so long, but I got it done and it feels fucking amazing. And now I'm not gonna make that mistake again, since I also got receipt management now on my new iPhone ready and connected to our books. So now that's that. Saturday, 2 p.m. Elena behind the cam. If you know her, you love her. 3rd coffee of the day. Elena said, hey Marvin, if you take a break from work, I got a task for you. And now I'm gonna take a break to get some coffee and send the sun before getting into offer updates. So what's the task?
You have to find your Easter present.
Easter present?
Easter surprise. Bro.
Is dat hoogje oder dat?
Nee.
Ik heb er nog wel eigen. Oh, da.
Ja?
Oef, is das für mich?
Ja.
M&M's.
Aber schau mal rein.
Digga, das mit Kaffee. Für mich?
Ja, aber hast du es genau angeschaut?
Notus! M&M's! Schau mal, Notus M's.
Wie geil! Oh, wie cool ist denn das?
Sieh das? Da musst du einen guten Shot drauf machen, das ist ja fucking crazy. It's nice to have a bit more quiet surroundings and less messages coming in, and then just using the space to be with family, but also to think a bit through some of the big topics. So a little lonely.
Yeah, a bit in terms of work.
Well, let's get you to Europe soon.
Then, I have been searching through my network when I was in Lisbon already.
I haven't forgotten about you guys. So I arrived in Aarau 10 days ago, roughly, from Lisbon. And I've been just locked in here at home. I'm spending some quality time with the family, beautiful sun, lots of work challenges, but the challenges are opportunities in work clothes. A lot to realign, a lot to improve, which is great. We're also back up with some YouTube momentum. You know, it's always, you detach from the numbers, you just focus on input goals and you get the reps in. But still, when you get less views, then it's not nice. And you kind of need extra motivation to keep the things running. You start thinking about, what the fuck am I been saying to the camera all the time? Like, is this actually weird if clients see this? You know, there's some like stuff that could come up. But you of course keep pushing, we keep pushing. I'll be done in the next 15 minutes and then I really gotta go to bed. Tomorrow, big day in Zurich, will be nice. I'll document it all. Gonna have some interesting meetings, co-working, meet up with a sister, and then I have an interesting dinner I'm invited to in the evening. So yeah, that's cool. And then we keep on pushing the videos that are left from Lisbon. I actually think there's some more bangers coming up, more cinematic vlogs, company offside, mastermind, stuff in between. So good stuff coming. Let's get it. Cheers. Am Abend bin ich in so ein Founder-Dinner-Dings eingeladen.
Kindness can be good, but honesty is better. So here comes.
Doesn't really matter, but thank you.
Hey vlog, we're in Zurich in Lochergut at Anschei and we're having a midday feast. Gonna enjoy the sun and the food. And thank you Marvin for joining me in Zurich. Baci!
My friends, wrapped up a beautiful lunch with Elena, caught up on the travel plans. I'm going to Vienna next week to visit Hubert. I'm going to Copenhagen to spend 2 weeks with Mathilde and then probably back to Switzerland. And then in June the apartment in Zurich is coming up, so fun times ahead. And Elena's doing well too, I heard. Hi my friends, heading to the founder dinner of Nico and Max from Zurich, here in the heart of the city. They run NK Media, amongst other projects, and they do these founder dinners, I think once per quarter. And I'm joining tonight, so should be good. Hopefully meet some cool people, and makes sense, especially as I'm moving into the city in June. It's a perfect occasion to meet some new people. That's the plan, and had a decent day. We relaunched the LinkedIn ads and already are getting some good signals from potential customers. So we're definitely hitting the right segments, and I mean, just one day in, and realizing how powerful these fucking LinkedIn ads are if you do it properly. And I'm going to take those learnings also into what we're doing for our clients across the entire people and marketing playbook. So that's been great. Sent out 2 follow-up emails to potential sales prospects with a quote in there too, and then got a written confirmation for a new client project starting week after next week. Gonna see Luca Wetzel also later tonight, and then we're gonna have a session tomorrow to just look at the entire agency and how we can make things a bit more effective, which has also been, let's say, reinforced by talking to my good friend Thomas Blasseman, who I met through Max Rabman, and he just went through quite a radical shift with his agency and making things more efficient and tapping into the power of AI with human taste and quality assurance in between, and it was very insightful. So shout out to you, Thomas, and now let's get to the dinner. Big reunion. Was geht? Joshua, Slav. All right, 12:15 a.m. Ordered Uber since there's no more trains going back to Aarau. Make sure it doesn't get too late. But shout out Nico, shout out Max, shout out Kilian, the trio behind Lima, which is their group, their founder group, the community here out of Switzerland that meets for dinners a couple of times per year, does retreats, and is actually building out a very dope circle here in Zurich. So had a lot of fun being here and met a lot of cool people. And what really stood out to me was, I think about at least 50% of the people I talked to knew already who I was because they've been following my LinkedIn content or YouTube content, or at least they've seen it. Some more engaged than others perhaps, but that was cool. I mean, I guess I didn't have to introduce myself as much to some people, and the ice had already been broken. And for me, you know, even though I'm quite a sociable guy, I'm not necessarily the one that goes to networking events and then just starts approaching a ton of people. Everyone knew me as the LinkedIn guy. That was the association. But then also a lot of them had then also seen some YouTube videos, watched some vlogs. I was actually mad. Almost everyone I talked to had context about me. And I'm not saying this as like an ego boast, but actually just fun to see and valuable from a building relationship type of perspective. Someone asked me if I don't get tired about doing these vlogs or me bringing the camera. But my answer was, to be honest, I would do this even if there wasn't a business context around it. I'm doing this as a video journal, as a way to document what's happening and having fun with it, not taking it too seriously. So no, I'm not getting tired of it, but there are some days where I feel more resistance towards picking up the camera. I don't even know what to share. And of course, when stuff gets challenging, when you're going through moments of uncertainty or restructuring or difficult decisions, then it's not necessarily easy to speak that truth into the camera and put it out there into the public. But I'm trying my best, and it's been valuable as a tool for therapy. It's been valuable to look back to where we came from and the decisions we were pondering, the decisions we made. You know, as I review these vlogs, for example, that are 2 months in the past, I hear me announce things, I hear me talk about things also with other team members, and it's just funny then to also see how things panned out and to kind of relive those decisions and challenge whether they were the right ones and if I thought things through properly. And then of course there's the recruiting effect. You know, I've been able to hire amazing talent that is part of the team because of this process. And probably what brings me the most joy is to hear how it's also inspiring people to do things their own way, to also pick up the camera and document their process, to be encouraged about not having to have hundreds of thousands of followers to commit to playing the game, even if it's just one comment, one message. That's fucking beautiful too, and that's what young Marvin wanted, and I'm glad that I'm getting some of that effect. And then of course it also helps growing the business, helps me make good connections, so there's a bunch of benefits to it. I choose this format because it feels like play to me, even though it might look like work to others. Anyway, let me actually go back to Slack and email now. Use the next 30 minutes to see what happened as I was at this event. Get a good night's sleep and then a good session with Luca tomorrow. It's good, bro.
So,
Welcome to Harlow. How you doing?
pretty good. It's Friday. Going to the gym now. Sauna. So yeah, overall, pretty good.
We had a good long walk, some learnings maybe to reflect on at some point about communication paths. He was out of office. I jumped into fulfillment and stirred shit up, which confused people. So that's important takeaways. And it's good to have you here, broski. And we're gonna probably tonight and then also over the next few days continue just working on the ideal structure for the company, crunch the numbers, and just clean some of the unnecessary complexity up. I think that's really the theme, eh? We got some operational debt, maybe some decision debt. Decision debt. We don't have dog debt though. He's fucking amazing. So we had a good 4-hour meeting, just a long walk, some coffee, catching up on things. Turns out when you have a team of over 15 full-time people, there's a lot of shit going on already. I had a good sales call with a LinkedIn OG. I've known him for many years from Switzerland, runs a big real estate tech company. And he got introduced by a mutual friend who I've known since 2019. We had our Fridays with Notice, which was nice to see everyone. I had a good catch up with Dylan. First time talking to Dylan, who's been helping with the edits. Fucking Costa Rican legend. Also recruiting call with Yagis. Good man, good energy, good vibes. Aligned with, I think, the direction. So, need to debrief with Luca. Any highlights? What's top of mind for you right now?
Had a good client checking call. So kind of looking at the bigger picture, at the background, and kind of giving them a space to share their feedback openly without the content strategist, which is the main point of contact.
How do you structure these client check-ins? Can you walk us through the agenda?
Well, so the process is that every project that we have, after 6 weeks of activity, so after their first post going live, I have a check-in with them scheduled, which is kind of the space for them to share feedback very transparently outside of the normal project scope and the day-to-day of it. Also without their content strategist, which is their main point of contact, sometimes the first time that I meet them. And I usually prepare myself in a way that I find out something personal or specific about them. Obviously, I'm very privileged with the deep dives we have, so I can find out a lot of information, but usually it starts with the location. And then we usually quickly go into reflecting not on the collaboration, but I ask them about the entire business, like the grand scheme of things. And that's kind of the same agenda always, like how is it going business-wise, independently of LinkedIn and what we do. Because the more context I can gather about the macro dynamics of the business, the easier it is to divert that back to marketing and with that to LinkedIn and our efforts. So it's just good to have that context. And then there we usually share. I try to understand and show them that I, hear them with all the knowledge that we already have gathered from the strategic setup. I have a lot of background information, which helps me a lot to easily understand whatever is going on there really. And then we move from understanding that towards the last or the first 6 weeks of activity. And then they usually tell me, hey, first time was great, the first post was great, and then maybe the second one wasn't so much. They're like, hey, is that normal? And then I can reassure them, or I can tell them, maybe we need a follow-up call. And I usually just add context and nuance, and mainly just try to understand how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and go really deep there. These calls have the tendency to be very positive. 6 weeks into collaboration, our setup process is very streamlined, and we have a lot of training there, doing it for more than 6 years. So that is very structured. Then when it hits reality, right, it can sometimes be that they don't have the right expectations or something like that. So it's really good to check in there right around after a month, because it's also the halftime towards the first quarterly review, which is the bigger strategic review in which we essentially encapsulate everything that we've done so far in the first 3 months. So it's very much halftime. I check in with them. They tell me how the business is going. They tell me how the collaboration is going. Then I ask, could we do anything else or better? Then we speak through these micro dynamics essentially and figure out the best way forward. Yeah. 90% of them, 95% are really positive, which is small things and details. And usually that's also the point where we move away from the classic approach, which we know works for the bigger group of clients that we work with, and make it a bit more individualized. Because the setup, as said, very streamlined, works for most in the same kind of time indications. But what we see in these feedback calls is instead of having one longer content call a month, they may want a weekly one that is much shorter because it helps them stay on top of news and stuff. So that's exactly the feedback they give me there. So systemic feedback instead of content feedback or something like that. And then it's easy for me to go to the team and say, hey, can we implement it in a good way? And then usually we can make it work very individually to each partner that we have. Because obviously working with founders and executives, the number one thing that they don't have is time. So you just make it work for them as much as possible. Yeah, it's very fun. It's cool.
Luca being our COO and fulfillment lead, him going in and saying, look, you're working with your content strategist. I want you to be just candid with me, share what's going well, what is challenging, and how what we're doing, is delivering value to you, what your expectations are. And if anything, is not going as you want to, I'm here to fix it with you. So love that. Now, we're in Aarau, Altstadt. Jam. We're on our way to Ardus Clinic. What is Ardus Clinic?
It's the clinic, or it used to be the clinic, of one of our partners and clients that I have a podcast with, Patrick Pafkin. He actually sold it, but we still can use the facilities. And we will use it to record our podcast for today. I'm still doing the prep, so I gotta wrap this up and get back to the prep.
And I'm gracious enough to drive Luca to his podcast production. I will just log in while you guys yap, catch up on all the pending emails and to-dos from yesterday. That's a Saturday.
Den du gar nichts weißt. Brauch eine AP-Plane, eine voll mit Eis. Fuck schon wieder Haschbrandloch, mein Presto Nikes. Mit meinem Bruder 4L, ich schneid mein Geld durch zwei. Red nicht über Sachen, von denen du gar nichts weißt. Brauch eine AP-Plane, eine voll mit Eis. Fuck schon wieder Haschbrandloch.
Also was ist Key Takeaway der letzten Folge?
Luca mag keine Biochemie.
Ich mag seine Biochemie nicht.
Wir haben die gleiche Biochemie als Menschen. Das ist auch deine Biochemie.
Ihr könnt ja die Folge hören, aber Patrick hat einfach eine Viertelstunde über Gleichung gesprochen. Also ist ja richtig und schön und gut und dafür machen wir es ja.
Patrick, aber ich bin jahrelang gequält auf der Uni mit Biochemie.
Ich bin dankbar, dass ich mir die Folge anhören kann. Selber nochmal. So, das hat er gesagt.
Ja gut, was nimmt man jetzt mit von der Folge? Warum soll ich mir die jetzt rein anhören?
Dass wir in Zukunft für Luca einen Joker einführen. Eine Folge muss dann Marvin sich hineinsetzen.
Also gut.
Get out of jail free card.
Also was wir mitnehmen können, ist, dass Laktat eine enge Verbindung zum VO2 Max hat und eigentlich eine Form von Hintergrundwissen ist, warum der VO2 Max so wichtig ist im gesamtenergetischen Kontext. Einfach ein spannendes Wissen, wie Laktat den gesamten Energiehaushalt mitmanagt und eine extreme Effizienz im körpereigenen System in sich trägt.
Und kann ich da irgendwas mitnehmen für meinen Alltag, um da das Laktat besser einzusetzen?
Laktat ist Energie, nicht Abfallprodukt. Also das ist wirklich Batterie sozusagen. Und je besser du das trainierst, desto mehr kannst du es ausnutzen. Also Zone 2, auch wenn es langweilig ist.
Auch eine der letzten Podcast-Folgen
hier eingeblendet.
Let's go.
Ich glaube, das wird es eigentlich ersetzen.
Good also we possible.
Spaß beim Gucken.
Dann da.
Soll ich noch sagen, was ich habe?
Yeah. Forgot to film the call, but just closed the deal. So that's nice. Dream ICP.
Wie serious?
So we're doing a full-on LinkedIn go-to-market personal brand takeover with a sick company from Berlin. We're gonna start with the founder first, and if we do it well, then we're gonna expand to more people. That's a nice little W for a Monday. It's been a intense but good weekend. Really in the notice turnaround and cleanup mode. Get the numbers on track. Make sure everyone on the team has clear focus and responsibilities. Yeah, I'll get you up later, but that's nice. So we got a sick deal confirmed now. Quote signed. And just got a confirmation for a follow-up sales call as well, which is nice. My favorite channel, this is when somebody signs a HubSpot e-signature. Do we do the kickoff date on the 20th or the 27th? And the deep dive would be on the 23rd or the 29th. This is how we do it. This is the content life. Other folks would just be like, what the fuck you talking about? Just grab a coffee, drink it, go to work, shut the fuck up.
Gotta enjoy the little things, the little moments.
I think so. This is prime time